3D sites are some of the most captivating types of websites, but they can be overdone. So today we're going to take a look at 4 incredible sites that you guys can try to build right now. We're going to talk a little bit about how they achieved sites like this one right here, builder.campsuha.com. Now, if you've ever built a car online, I mean, if you've ever kind of gone into like the Ferrari site and try to customize your own model, I know I have guilty there. You a lot of times get things like this, where you have the entire car itself, or the van in this case, in sort of a 3D space. And the cool thing about this is that we can completely customize this van to our heart's desire. Now, there are so many different possibilities here, and the cool thing is that as you start to play around with this, and you can say, okay, maybe I do want the windows, I don't want the windows, this space, not this space, you know, whatever the case is, the 3D object itself updates. And not only does it update, but it rotates the entire van so that you can see that update in the best possible angle. Now, would something like this be able to be done right now with Spline and Webflow collab? I'm not 100% sure. I would need to see how we can do something this advanced. I'm sure that we could, with triggers and on trigger, rotate the van and hide and show a certain object. That's one way that we could do that. But with this many options and capabilities, I mean, it just feels like a very, very extensive type of project. But that being said, if you did have the time and energy and money to do something like this with Spline and Webflow, you definitely could. So this is the first cool site that I want to show you. And not only in 3 outside viewpoints, you also have these interior aspects. So you can kind of see all the different places that you can take this with this car model example. And it goes on to floor panels, wall panels, like everything, right? You can pretty much customize this to be whatever you want it to be. But yeah, absolutely fantastic website. Let's jump into the second one, which is a little bit more close to what people might be designing right now with the no-code world. So this is an agency that has a lot of 3D elements within their page. So as you scroll through this page, it's going to take you on a journey. And we talk a lot about this type of site where you're guiding the user through something that you want them to see. And stick around for the last one, because that's just the craziest journey-driven 3D site. And I've showed it before, but this type of site is really cool because although you are taking them through this journey, you can also click on the view project. So when we click on that project, it'll take us to a completely different domain here, not domain, different page. And so we can see that the 3D is not only very cool, it's like a journey, it's a better experience, it's more captivating, but it's also useful, right? We can see that, okay, this is the bespoke thing. Let's click on that. Maybe next one, interactive. Okay, I want to see what this project is like. So we're going to open this link and it's going to take us to that page, right? So there are a lot of capabilities with 3D. And so we can see that it's not all gimmicky. It's not all, I don't know, maybe you don't need 3D if you have maybe an agency, right? You don't have a van that you want to showcase like this specifically, but you can see that it does have its applications and we can have that kind of experience with 3D objects. Now, as we keep scrolling here, we see another possibility for 3D that we maybe wouldn't have without seeing this kind of thing. So imagine you have a 2D agency, right? You guys just do photography, typography, branding, whatever it is. You don't necessarily use 3D content. But in this case, we can see that these glass boxes, the testimonials that this agency is using, has that 3D element. So it's acting as not only just a testimonial, but within the testimonial, we can see that we have this effect of 3D, and we can see that, okay, they know how to do 3D by showing this, right? So it's not just the testimonials, it's the experience of everything moving left and right. Another application for 3D would be using the awards that you might have won as this 3D application here. And talking about awards, guys, I just wanted to bring this out because I think it's super, super cool. So we recently won, let me bring this closer to the camera. We recently won the Webflow Awards Educator of the Year, which is absolutely fantastic. I just wanted to show you guys this because it's as much mine as it is yours, obviously. So I just wanted to show that out there. If I wanted to, I could scan this, put it into my site in 3D, which I have done actually for the future course site that I'm building, but more on that later. So I just want to show you guys that there are applications like this that you can use for 3D. Now, next up is going to be this alcohol beer site. And this recently won site of the day or website of the day on CSS Awards. But the cool thing about this is that they have this product that, yes, it's 3D, it's a beer, but it's not necessarily something that you'd think that you need to showcase in this kind of experience. So as you scroll, it's a scroll animation. The beer kind of rotates and flips its way into where we want it to be. And that acts as a canvas, right? So there we have, okay, we have the storage advice, the color, the calories, the bitterness, whatever. I'm not that much into these fancy beers, but we can see that there's all these different options. And when we click on the slider, it adds an animation. And if we click backwards, it reverses the animation. So not only is it swapping the design with the animation, at some point it goes from the blue one to the gray one here, or green, and then back to red. So, you know, there's a lot of applications that we can be using with this 3D stuff. And when we have this object, it finally goes off into the bottom here and lays down. Now we have this rendering animation here, which is just a simple GIF, I believe. But this would be perfectly doable in Webflow with Spline today if we wanted to. Now, I promised you guys that the last one would be absolutely mind-blowing, and I've covered this before on the channel, so forgive me, but when we're talking about 3D websites, I literally cannot go without talking about this. Now, this isn't the typical 3D where we have kind of like the van here, where we have an actual 3D object. I believe that this is a video, a GIF of some sort, and we're playing through it as we scroll. But let me stop talking and let me just scroll here. So when we're scrolling, not only is it actually moving sections with us so that we're actually going through the experience and we're understanding all the different clients that are investing with them, but it's also giving us an entire experience. It's saying the first blockchain that can disrupt social media. Not sure exactly what that means. I'm not in that blockchain world, but it gives us so many options to go into 3D here. All right, let me keep scrolling. All right, this blows my mind every time I've gone on the site. I've gone in it like 4 or 5 times already, and it's by one of my favorite studios, but look how incredible this is. As you're scrolling, it's giving you all these coins here that you can interact with. So I don't think this is a video, actually. I think this might be 3D, which kind of scares me because I'm not entirely sure how they did this, but we're also getting content as we go through it. So wow, you can click all of the coins, and I've just found that out right now. So completely changes what I imagine this to be. And you can see that the shadow is transforming as well. So we can stay moving through here. I'm just clicking around, see if we can move anything else, but no. Okay, we're gonna go down into the face here, into the logo. All these numbers pop up, and then we're done with 3D, right? No, we're not, because we're gonna go through this tunnel here. Look how incredible that is. It's giving you like a little glimpse of that logo, and then we're onto 2D again. And then you can click these coins to flip around, and then just keep going onto more 3D. I mean, I'm trying to see if I can click on anything else here, but this is just wild, right? I don't know how long this took, and I know this is a collab between 2 different studios, which is amazing. I want to show you guys the studio, last thing here. So this is a collab with Studio Freight and Ordinary Folk. Studio Freight has one of the coolest agency sites. This is apart from the video now, we're just talking about this agency here. But this is one of those kind of websites that are extremely simple to do, but hard to master, right? You can see that there are maybe a few styles here. We have the name of the agency, we have the projects, and then once you click on the project, let me go on to DeSo here. We can see that we have a little slideshow of the content from the site. So I mean, just fantastic. And then Ordinary Folk did the style guide, I'm assuming, or the design itself, the animation. Just an absolutely phenomenal website. I mean, when you think about 3D sites, for me, this might not be your traditional 3D, but this is just, I mean, it's mind-blowing, right? Anyways, there's a lot of applications that you guys can use with 3D. A lot are very crazy, like this one, and then some are more practical, like we saw here with the Noomo Agency, showcasing your award, showcasing these testimonials. Maybe you have a 3D render of your head and you put it there from the team. Whatever the case is, there's a lot of practical ways to use 3D. And now with Spline and Webflow, easy as pie. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, we've got plenty more coming out. Be sure to like, subscribe, do all those things. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for all the years that you have been watching here. I'm gonna bring out the award again, but again, this here is thanks to you guys, and I don't want to get too YouTube emotional and all of that, but this is an absolute blessing for me to be able to achieve something like this with YouTube, with Webflow. So again, thank you everyone. So guys, that's it for me. I'll see you guys next week.